Welcome to part 8 of the Satsuma saga. So, it has been a while. I did not adjust the top camera yet. It has been a while since we worked on this machine. So I was in Germany, then I was sick, then we worked on the 2.4 and on the V0. So I think it has been like a month or so. Um, Maybe a bit longer since we last worked on this machine. But it's not given up, of course. And today I want to do most of the wiring. I'm not quite sure how far I get with that because there's a lot of wires we need to do. So I kind of want to leave it a little bit open if we finish the wiring today or not. I do have a flashed micro SD card here with everything we need basically to kind of make it running. But I don't think we'll start configuration today. So I think my plan is to do all the wiring, maybe except for the CAN bus. That everything is wired up except the tool head. That next time we can basically do the tool head and the configuration, something like that. And I think I will also skip over the fans for now and just leave those out because I think it's quite a lot of work with the 4 fans. And actually, there are 3 fans. They're still in the 2.4 that I have to like remove there first before we can use them here. But that being said, um, yeah, I would just jump in. Maybe like a couple of words to what I did so far. In between streams. So I replaced these little screws here because here we were missing the M3 by 6 screws. These are now here, so we don't have these like weird stacks anymore. And I bought the 5 wire Wago clamps. We were missing one there. And I printed mounts. Oh, did I put in there? So these are all the mounts we should need. And with that, let's start. So I would think it's just easiest to just put this on the back like this. And then hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And maybe I also see what I'm doing, although it's like not, it's quite high up, but we will manage. And last time my chat didn't work, so I'm now like paying a lot of attention if that is working correctly. Here we are. Now I see it. I also wanted to glue these 2 parts together, but that's not super high priority. Yeah, so we had the AC wiring done, and I see a lot of blue wires that should go into the Wago here. And maybe we can also shorten a couple of these wires because right now it's like quite long. I installed the new Wago I got. What's that? Wants to go in. That counts. Okay. So, oh yeah, and oh yeah, this was just like to hold this cable in place. See, why is there a blue cable coming out of my brown cable? So, Then this one comes from the inlet. I just have to put this in vertical. And this one is for the 5-volt power. So basically we have two power supplies in this machine. Technically it's not really needed, but it has some benefits. So the 5-volt power supply basically only powers the Pi, which basically guarantees like a more stable voltage. Hi there, Steve. Welcome. Let me see. So I'm a bit bothered by the long cables here because like there will be a lot of cables here. So let me shorten them a tiny bit. And most likely I just have to accept that this will be a bit of a messy thing down there. Hi there, Ravenkeeper. Welcome. Did you already eat all the cake today or still cake coming? Hi there, Mr. DSI. So, then, so that should be the wiring. Maybe we can also shorten this one a tiny bit. Okay, then power supply. Somebody was actually asking, I forgot who it was, I think it was Patsumir, was asking in Discord about the 150 watt power supply. I actually also use a 150 watt here, but I do have one motor less than the Trident. So I think it's fine, but I would not use it if preventable. I'm actually not 100% sure why I went with the 150 watt here. What is this? Is this M3? I'm just checking here like the screws. It looks like M3. So we need something along the line of like M38, M310. Yeah, that's quite short. Let me see. Ah, I know. I think in general it's just handy to have like a good selection of random screws flying around. Because you will always discover more that you need. See if that works, or if that is too low. No, that works. Perfect. Okay. See? How does this work? Oh, I have to pull it here. Okay. I did test these and they clipped on nicely. They do clip on nicely. So I think we can move it quite a bit down. Then maybe we have a bit of space up here for something in case we would need that. On the other hand, it's also maybe nice to have a bit of space for the wiring. So let's just move that. Move that. So usually like this was designed for 200. The 200 would be a little bit taller. Um, so we have a bit of extra wiggle room here. Probably tomorrow cake. There's always cake. The only thing I forgot, by the way, is I didn't buy the how they call like the spade connectors. I totally forgot to buy them. So I will install this now without spade connectors, and I will add that later. So, which also means I leave them a little bit longer that I can later crimp the connectors on, although it should not change too much. Can already see tool redesign to add characters to that. Yes, absolutely. I'm actually, yeah, I'm still considering what to do with this whole like wiggle situation because like I'm really certain that like in the setup we have now we will not get nice prints. So I think the whole XY will be redesigned, to be honest. And if I redesign it, I will just throw in linear rails. I'm not gonna make any fuss with the rods, I think. Okay, that's connected, which would complete the AC wiring. Then I would say let's just throw the other components on the other side. So we have two of these mounts because we use the SKR Pico, which I actually don't have here, which is interesting. Where did we hide that? In which box did I put the SKR Pico? Out of it. Most likely it's in the zero box. There is a raspberry. We also will need that in a second. And there's SKR Pico. And there's I forgot to print um, thin rail mount for this one, for the UCAN, which we need for canvas. Then let's just do what I said in the beginning of the stream. You most likely were not here, but then let's do all the wiring today, except for the canvas. And then I will do the canvas next time. And now, what kind of screws do we need here? Just like I printed that, and later I figured out there's no like spacers here, which should be fine. We just need to figure out what screw. So usually I would use the self-tapping screws, which I already put away again. I have some here. Let's quickly see if that works. Now it seems like it does work. And I just need to quickly grab a couple more of these. And then we can mount that. Just a question, how do we mount that? Because we need a bit of space here, and here we have the power supply. So I think I'll put the main board here because then it's a bit more space around. And then we put the Raspberry here like this. Wait, let me see. Do I have more self-tapping here? I need to find. Oh, I need to find some. Let's quickly grab them from the V2 school. Here I had a full bag of them. Or did I already pull them out? I'm organized as ever. I think I don't see them here. No. Then I already pulled them out. So this built. I knew I would need them, so they must be in the. Yeah. I thought way ahead and forgot. Classic me. Why a 5-volt PCU when you can power the Pi from the Pico? So technically, like the main reason you do that is the 5-volt PCU will give a cleaner 5-volt. That's what I understand. But also the PSU is relatively small, right? So we have a 150-watt PSU, and my thinking was like, let's get some load off of it. So I just power the Pi separately, and maybe we can also power some LEDs or something separately from the PSU. From the 5-volt PSU, that like the main PSU can really do the main PSU things. So that was a bit of my thinking that we can't like split the load because this is relatively small. Okay, so then let's just put this. Yeah, I think this is the best orientation because here are no connectors. And we can do it like this. I'm not sure if this is really helpful. to be honest. Let's see, maybe we remove it. By the way, is anyone using a Pi 5 for printer yet? Or everyone's still using the Pi 4s? Because I was a bit, I was wondering if there's any real life benefit of having a Pi 5. Most likely the answer is no. Because the 4s are more than fast enough for what we do. I think this is a bad mount because it doesn't have the spacers. But it holds it, so it works. Try smaller. I think this one's a bit too big. Okay. That also goes on. I hope there's enough space here for the USB cable, but should just be fine. Otherwise, we need to find the mount where I can like rotate that by 90 degrees. I've been using a Pi 5 since I built the Tridents, so overkill probably, but runs 2 to 3 printers on. Oh, okay, nice, yeah. I think if you use multiple machines or like if you have multiple printers controlled from it, most likely fine. But I always add it to like the printer itself. Cost of Pies would rather install a BTT MP or C1. Yeah, that's also a fair point. Like the Pies are not cheap. But the CB1s, they have some features missing. For example, I can't use the RTSP webcam. The Pi can do that, but CB1 can't. So there's some drawbacks. But I think overall, like the CB1 is fine. Like I also use CB1 here in Switchfire, and like the machines run fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And the Switchfire, since I reinstalled the firmware on the CB1, like in the beginning, I had like these random freezes. That is gone with the latest firmware, or like latest whatever I have now on. So that's quite good. Okay, then yeah, where do we start? Where do we start? We actually should start by inserting the SD card here because otherwise it will later be hard. So let me quickly put it in. That should be ready. Yeah, where do we start? So basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4 motors to wire up. And how's the end stop switch situation here? I totally forgot that. I think we home completely sensorless in all directions. I don't think we added any micro switches, no. So we home, yeah, this is so bad. Like I don't think we will get any good results here. Like also on this axis, like this is really bad. Yeah, it's a problem for later. So we don't have any end stops to wire up. So I think we do have to wire up the bed though. Maybe this is easy. Let's just start with that. I think the idea is to pass it through here. and use zip ties here on that. There's like this green part here where we can zip tie that. Let's quickly see how much cable we need here, because I think we don't need too much here, to be honest. It's like this easily reaches down. Yeah, I need a bit more for up. So I wouldn't, because they're like five, how do I show it? There are 5 points here for the zip tie, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think we need all 5. I would just do the top, like maybe the middle one and the top one. And then this is enough. The problem is now, the way we mounted the board here is that this cable does not reach. So we do need to flip that over. Should I have to push again? I always forget which direction I have to push from these. Here we go. So we do have to do it this way. Because otherwise it's too short. Otherwise it's too short. But then it also means we can give it quite a bit of cable here. So I would just check that the sleeving here is inside fully. But then basically we can just leave the cable as is. Let me also quickly pull up the pin out for that. SKRP go pin out, so we can see what is what. The Pilot 2 from Mellow is super low in specs, but still keep up in ADXL and 30,000 plus access. Yeah, I think like all these like mini PCBs, but like you don't need a lot to run a printer. You don't need a lot to run a printer. Okay, so it's not the corner one is for power, so it's this one here, the second one. Let's okay. And then the probe goes technically all in the corner here. Maybe it would be nice to have one of these cable loops that I have here. So this is like a simple print, like these like V-slot cable clips. I use them also on the switch wire. They're quite nice. I mean, this cable we can shorten at some point. But now this is more or less the perfect length. Down a bit. Quickly grab some zip ties. I feel like the person who designed this printer really likes zip ties. Plus they have a lot of zip tie points everywhere. I feel like I don't want to zip tie the lowest one because the cable is not short, but it might be a little bit less tensioned. I think that's the better. And it's already good enough with two for sure. Even one would be sufficient. Okay. If you see that the cable runs smoothly up and down. You know what? Let's also quickly do that cable cover here that it crimps on that cable sleeve. I remember it being like quite a painful thing to take apart. So I just want to have the sleeve basically inside this clamped part. Okay, that did not really work. I feel like there's this is not properly on. You see, there's some mechanic to interlock these two parts here. As stupid as I remembered it. Okay, let's see. So I just wanted to have this like a little bit attached here, but yeah, it's just like flapping out very easy. It's not really clamping that. It would be nice to have it fixed, but I think I'll just add a zip tie at the end here. To make sure this stays. Okay, perfect. That would mean the bat is wired up. Yay. Then I would say let's do the motors. I don't think we have cables we can use. So we start with this. I would maybe crimp these first, this side. Let's quickly decide on the cable run. So this would go from here. I would keep using those clips. I don't think I have a lot of them though. Two more. So let's only use one here. because then I can put like one here on the side to guide it down. I don't like this board. I think I will remove that most likely because it kind of like takes a lot of space here. That I would rather use for other stuff. Yeah, let's remove that. Maybe it's some different cable routing philosophy. But now we can also move this one quite a bit down. And then later, oh, I put it back. We can put the U2C maybe up here. Let's put this one here. And then we have here space for the U2C. And then everything is kind of like nice. Then we can like route these cables around here. I'm actually wondering. No, like these parts take up the whole top here. So that is something we have to keep free, but we can route inside here and we can route cables around here. Okay, then so one cable would then go down here. Is there like, how do we get the cables? Because like the steppers are on the bottom here, and there will be a bottom panel here. I wonder what the nicest way is. I mean, we could. How do we run that? Let's quickly check in Fusion. I don't see like an obvious way right now to run these cables because like here's the bottom panel later, right? And his motors here in this Fusion phase out. How do we run the cable there though? I have no audio filter, strange background noises? No, I have the same as always. I don't have anything special, Steve. Not sure if there's anything. I do have a suspicion though what it is. But also that is every week here. Let me quickly turn something off. Now it should stop, maybe, Steve. I have this like water fountain for Loki, but it runs every week. Besides that, it's absolutely silent here. Had a moment or two. I don't speak Spanish, but I think you're building a Satsuma 120. Welcome to the stream. Okay, back to this cable problem. Like, how do we? Because I kind of don't want to have like cables running here on the inside, but I think the only way is to run it somewhere here. I mean, there's a little corner here where you could pass like a cable through. I think that's the intention, that we run it through here to here. So let's assume this. Then, so I'm not quite sure which motor will be which, but I'll just pick like random ports now. And there's some big room in the Kelly. So one goes here. I mean, let's put both through this one here. And then this one basically just goes to the side here and then down. Should have ample cable. Okay, so these are the bottom two. And then for the top two, we let's run it in the center. So it goes somewhere here. to here. And I think we can just literally duplicate the length because it's exactly the same. Okay. So these are the 4 motor wires. Um, then I would say let's crimp all these ones. Then I would run the cable somewhat cleanly. I don't have a lot of these hooks though. And you know what? While we are crimping that, let me print a couple of those. Let me quickly get that set up. So. It's these ones, V-slot cable clips. They're really nice, actually. Let me quickly get it started. They will be white now because I'm not gonna load different filament, but should be fine. How many do we need? Maybe 10 for now. Let's do 15. Okay. Still starting, quite slow. Here we go. Oh yeah, I use a different camera now, but it didn't install yet. That's the camera that we had on the switch wire at some point. Because the camera that is on the 2.4, like, it constantly craps out. It's very annoying. So I'm just going to switch to another camera I have laying around. Let's quickly preheat the bed for a second. And then I will shoot it out. Okay, in the meantime. Nothing nicer than crimping a few stepper cable. Just to double check. So we have the 4-pin. Wait. I only have 3 of those. I don't have many. I just need to quickly find some more. But then basically this is the correct one here. Definitely filter problem. Can hear everything and never heard logs on. I didn't change anything, and the filter is definitely enabled. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you because the microphone mode is on voice isolation, same as always. Let me check the. It's also using the correct microphone. Are you going to use SKR Pico? I'm not mistaken. The V0 only has one Z motor. How do you plan on manage the two Satsuma motors regarding Z tilt? Well, it has 4 stepper drivers, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ports here. So you have 5 ports. We need to double check the pin out, but basically these 2 ports go to the same stepper driver. But you have 4 stepper drivers, so you can control 4 different stepper motors. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the, normally, this would control the X, like the A and B steppers, and a Z on the V0, right? That's the three. And then depending on your setup, you would also have the extruder stepper on here. But what we will do, this board will only do the motion system. We are using like another breakout board here that has another stepper driver. So you see the stepper driver here, this white cable, or like the white plug here, is the stepper for the extruder, is connected to this board. And this will be connected via CAN bus to the other main board. So basically, we are having two main boards in Clipper. That's like if you're coming from Martin, for example, not possible. That's kind of how this machine was intended. So I think the constructor of this machine, he just plugged in two steppers on one stepper driver, but that means they always work in parallel. But what you can do then basically is you do like hardware Z tilt. So you basically just like drive the bed all the way down, and you keep driving it down at the bottom. That means that if one motor bottoms out first, the other one continues. So it's like, yeah, hardware Z tilt adjust. But for us, we have enough stepper drivers to do like a proper software Z tilt, so to say. Okay, let's throw it on. These cables are really nice, or like the silicone wires here are really easy to crimp because they hold the I don't know how to call it, the metal part, they hold really well. So if you put it on and you squeeze it a little bit on here, it just stays on. Very nice. You print those clips on 2.4 would be faster on V0. Yes, it would be. And actually, thanks for the reminder. We need to start that. But I don't have filament in the V0, and the 2.4 has filament loaded. So yeah, but usually, yes, that would be a V0 thingy. Oh, that was not a good crimp. Let me quickly start that before I forget again. Oh, really awkwardly crimped it on here. Oh, quickly try this again. Oh. It's doing a lot of rounds of quad country level there in the background. But see if the background sound is gone now, right? You don't hear it anymore. Oh yeah, and I also tried my luck with the Index Spontec pre-sale thingy, but I already mentioned in the in Discord, like I was way too late. Like these, so they sold like, so OneTech sold now 1,200 units of the index system, or like you could reserve a spot in the queue, like 1,200 people could, and that was gone in no time. So I checked like in the morning basically after, and yeah, long gone. Absolute shame. Like I did not like. I mean, I kind of expected that it would sell out quickly, but I did not expect it to sell out within minutes. So seemingly there's a lot of enthusiasm around this product, which is fair. Like it's a cool system. But yeah, let's see. I most likely will write them an email if I can get like a unit early after the 1,200 are like sent out to install on the stream here. But then I'm not one of the big influencers, so I don't think I have a lot of priority. Are you happy with the cartographer, and how is it you now? How is you is now with the solid CNC mount? So the print quality is definitely better with the solid mount. That's something I noticed immediately. So I have no more ripple and ringing on the surface, on the side surface basically. So that's definitely like a big upgrade. I mean, it's clear, right? Like it's a solid mount. There's nothing, no moving parts. It must be better. So that's definitely a big plus. Over the tap, I mean, I can't speak for the CNC tap. I never had that. But from what I hear, it's also like not perfect. Um, the first layer is not as good as I thought it would be, to be honest. Like, it's still it's good, but it's not super reliable. I had one print where it was like not properly aligned. Only happened once, so it could have been like just like a weird one off. I mean, this looks not quite good. Um, yeah, I didn't use it enough yet to really say like for sure it's like a problem or it was like one off fluke. So that's something time has to tell. Um, but besides that, like I'm really happy with it. It definitely is more reliable than tap. I mean, with tap, I always had this thing where it basically like it worked fine most of the time, but then like something broke. For example, like right when we took it apart, like the screw was loose of this one thing of this switch, and then of course like threw all my taps off, so the first layer was not reliable. So I would say like when tap was working well, the first layer is comparable. That's kind of what I would say. But then here we don't have any like parts that can break. One thing that happened now, actually, so I also installed like one of these tap sheet, like the Carto shields, to protect the probe. Rush, welcome. So I installed one of these like shields, basically just to protect the probe from when it collides with something, which was a good call because I printed something really big this morning that basically took up the whole bed. I think it was like 28 by 28 centimeters. And what happened basically is that the Carto basically strapped over the silicone brush and actually damaged the silicone brush. Like it ripped off some of the some of these like brush elements. And yeah, so I was glad I had a shield for that. Although with the silicone brush, most likely nothing really would have happened, but still, you never know. Um, yeah, besides that, it just works. Also, like looking now at this print, um, it just works. And I mean, these parts are tricky, I would say. I mean, let's see if it completes. And a really smart person would have purged out the yellow. But I will reprint those in black anyways later. Like these are just temporary. Like I can't be bothered right now on putting like a different filament in. Okay. Crimping is a perfect thing to pass time while you wait for your print. Just trying to always have the same orientation of the cables in here. One doesn't want to. One has to. Okay, that's 3. 1 left to go. Yeah, you can of course buy these cables ready-made. I just kind of prefer making them myself because then I can always have like a quote-unquote perfect length. I absolutely hate having like cables flying around in my printer that are not like unnecessary cable lengths. I absolutely hate. Uh, oh, and I missed your second message, Mercedes. I'm considering to go to Carto on the E3 NG. I'm not happy with the Eddy NG. I can't speak to how different it is from the Eddy. But I think the Eddy is a lot cheaper. So there's something to be said about that. And the first layer offset calibration thingy with the touch works perfectly. Like as far as I can tell, like it's quite good. But I think then depending on the build material or like on the plate material, like I kind of like to adjust it a little bit. And I also noticed, so now it's very obvious when your flow is incorrect. Because for one material, my flow was too high. And that resulted in, of course, like in first layer being super squished because you the Z offset is like determined independent of the flow. If you do the Z offset manually in some way, shape, or form, you are always like your flow, of course, like has also impact because like if you have more flow, you can just move the Z offset off up a little bit, and your first layer will also be fine. It's just like a tiny bit too thick. But now with the Carto measuring the Z offset, like this flow variable is completely gone. So the Z offset is perfect, independent of the flow. And now notice basically for one filament that the flow was off just based on the first layer being squished way too much. And Hyper 1000, welcome to the stream. Sorry, I'm way behind with messages. I'm horribly bad at reading stuff. That's the first thing you need to know. What are you building? So this is a 3D printer, Satsuma 180. So it's a very like small community project. Oh, I have to find one of these things first. It's a very small community project. The project was abandoned. My idea was like to build it basically and see what we can improve and maybe revive it a little bit. So it's basically, where would it be, the electronics? So it's basically a conversion of a Prusa Mini. That's kind of like what it's supposed to be. I never had a Prusa Mini, but I happen to have a Prusa Mini bag from a previous project. Oh no, we don't have a white one. Oh, don't do this to me. We now have to use a black one for one. What a cruel world. Let me quickly see. So there's the one black one. Just make the offset per material in the turbine. No, like my, I mean, the perfect way, of course, is to adjust the flow, right? So that the flow is correct. And frequent viewers of the stream will not surprise that the material that had too high flow rate is the black ABS I use everywhere. Because there we also had issues with the hole diameters not being correct, and that was just like over extruded. Ah, yeah, perfect. Let's just recycle those. I was spared the horrible fate of having differently colored connectors on my mainboard. Oh, come on. Okay, there. It's damaged. I have one. Perfect. Where's my... And which direction again? And the really smart person would have checked the pinout of these cables before destroying them. Okay. So I need one more stepper. One more stepper cable quickly to copy the pinout from. Technically, there should be... There's none in here? Let me see. Where do I have a stepper cable? Otherwise, we have to try it out. I don't think... But I wonder where the cables are we had on the poor man coax wire, because these correct. Nope. We have to try that out. Oh, this is you can. Let me just copy that over here. I'm pretty sure it's just the center two cables are over cross. Um, well, I guess there was a font noise while you were talking. Okay, I will turn it off in the future. That could very well be. I'm not sure if it was louder today because there's a pump basically with a mesh, and the mesh gets a little bit dirty over time. And I think I cleaned it this week, so potentially it was like louder because there was more water flow. Actually, makes quite a huge difference. Okay, let's just plug these in. So the two long ones go to the bottom. And the short ones go to the top. Here we go. So these go that way, and these will go this way. Oh yeah, we have two of these clips here, so let's just use them for here. I don't think we have to run too many wires here, actually. Like, I think it's quite a clean build, so to say. It's quite a clean build, because like most of the stuff's on the toolhead board anyways. The bad wires we already have, so it's just the steppers now. And then the power cables. Let me just, oh, I can't put this on its head. Ah, that's awkward. Like, because I have the tool head sticking out, I can't really put this upside down. Let's see, can I put it on something? That would be a lot. See. I mean, technically, I can put this on this, and if I would have something here as well, roughly the same height. This, then that works. I still didn't print the TPU feed. Okay, so here's our stepper wires coming out. And the short one goes here, and then the long one basically goes around here. And then here to this one. So this is like, they're both like quite long. So I quickly want to wait. It's like 1 minute until it's done. Then I will just clip them here that we really see like the real cable length we need. I think this one is maybe like 2 centimeters too long. So we can just like shorten it a little bit, and then we just crimp the connector here on that. And then for this one, it's the same. I'm not quite sure if this is the best way to run the cable, but I think this is more or less the intended way to do that. Maybe for here later on, what we can do is, instead of having these clips, we can use a cover for the extrusion to cover this up completely. That I think would be the nicest. Uh, was it the E3 stepper cables? The ones I destroyed? No, these were from the poor man Corks Y. They were like really short because the board was here and the steppers were like directly next to it. Um, oh yeah, but I can actually reconstruct it. So it's actually literally, if you see here, like the cable outside goes to outside, but the center ones are across. So it's exactly what I remember. I hope these are enough. And then yeah, I'll reprint them in black and quickly replace them. Oh no, in here it doesn't work because there's this part here. Now it works. Small adjustment. Yeah, but I think a cable cover or like a cover for the V-slot profile here would be by far the most elegant solution later on. But for now, just like to simulate the cable run, these are pretty good. And then I will just leave a little bit of wiggle room cable here. That's not like turning out too short later on. So this is like quite still okay length. And also here, I think something like this. Put it to the side. You still have no rubber feet. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mentioned. Like I still didn't print them. That's on my eternal to-do list. Okay, the fun part is this side is actually smaller connectors. So it's the smaller size. Sorry, the smaller size. Okay, see that it doesn't focus on it. So grab these. Oh, the dragon has risen. I always do my best to power him out before the stream, that he's not too destructive. I think I did a fine job today. Now let me quickly throw out all the trash before he finds new toys. That are not toys. I mean, he will find toys anyways. And Loki, inspection time. Is print quality good? Okay, everything is kitten safe. Where were we? My to-dos is a SQL database. You actually have no clue how true this statement is. And sometimes I have the feeling instead of like shorter, it continuously gets longer. I need it later, thank you. That's a whole nother dimension to crimping. Don't crimp your cat's tail. Okay, so then the outside one and the outside one go to the outside. Oh, sorry, you only see my hair. And then the center ones are swapped. So the left center goes to the right and the right center goes to the left. Looks good. That's cable one. Just pull this out here. Now we have a bit more wire to work with. Hi there, Sven. Welcome. Okay. Focus on your hands, so when you stick your hand in a way, we don't see just pass. Yeah. And that is. Let me just focus. Yeah. Let me see if that does something. Mhm. No, it's not a perfect crimp, but I'll accept that. And last but not least, okay. Um, let me make sure that we kind of have them the same way. So the white one goes here. So there's one cable with a white stripe. And this one goes here. This one goes here, and then the other one goes over across. Perfect. That's it. So that should be the Z steppers being all wired up. And that looks not even half as bad. Then let's do these two, and then I'm done with crimping. Which actually is not as much fun as it looks. What was at work the first 45 minutes of the stream? I remember you said something about Ken not being wired today, but maybe we will see some moves XY. Um, it's a question, right? Because we also need to do all the configuration. I mean, technically we can wire Ken. Let's just see how fast we are. But I don't think we will have enough time to configure everything because we also have to install Clipper, right? Like I have a vanilla Raspberry image now. There's nothing on that image. I mean, when the steppers are wired now, we quickly do the power wires. That should be quite straightforward and quick. Then we do the USB cable we have to do. USB cable we have to do. And I think then that's already it, right? Because we don't have any end stops to wire. We don't have anything else. The tool head is wired up, so it's just a CAN bus cable. This is the wrong one. Yeah, so, I accidentally mixed some of the larger ones into the small bucket at some point. I'm still randomly pulling out large ones. That was not a good crimp. Let me try it again. Pretty fast with Kiao. I don't like myself. Yeah, exactly. I also prefer just having it all vanilla and then just set up what you need. Okay. Um, Again, let's make sure we have it somewhat the same. So in this orientation, the white one goes on top. Then this one goes on the bottom. And the center goes over across. Okay, one to go. Here we go. For some reason, he started scratching my my office chair. Like he doesn't scratch any furniture, but like he now started scratching my office chair, and I don't know how to stop him. That I'm not a fan of that, obviously. Also, side note, I don't know if our Raspberry Pi OS switched to Trixie, but ShakeTune don't run on Trixie, but Clipper does. Not sure if I can follow there. What's Trixie? Debian 13. Oh, that's actually a good question. I did not pay attention of that or to that when I flashed it. I can quickly check in a second. If not, I would just flash that. I mean, I don't think we will need. I really don't think we get this far today. Um, Let me quickly check. Because I just flashed it now. Um, yeah, it's Trixie. Yep, 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 yep. Ew, ugly. Ugly. Yeah, then I have to find a solution there. That is a very good hint, Mr. Desai. Yeah, this one really does not want to go in. Okay, whew. Yeah, I'm done with crimping. Nice. Clipper works fine, just ShakeTune was not able to compile on my... what is ShakeTune? So we don't need to crimp a lot more. Okay, then let's... Now those over here. Perfect. What would be next? Um, yeah, the fans we don't wire up today. That's something I definitely will skip. The fans I don't wire up. That is a hard no. It's something I will do at the end. Um, let's quickly look for USB cable. Do I still have them here? I don't have them here. Oh, I hope I didn't move them to my main cable thingy. Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah, then I have to later grab a USB cable quickly. I don't have it here. I put it in my main cable stash. Is that center? What do you think? Then, so USB will do later. I'm a bit concerned because like there's really not a lot of space here, so that might throw a little bit of a wrench in the system. Because like if we so that the side panels here, like think this is not enough space here. That would mean we need I would make a custom canvas mount here to move that just inward basically. To just move that in. Um, yeah, I think that would be a good approach. I don't want to rotate it now because like this kind of like aligns very nicely, but then I just move it like 2 centimeter backward, and then we have enough space here. Um, hey you, you're bored. I know. Then. No, you don't go there. You don't go there. You go here. Power. Let's just do power. I think power is good. So my plan for power was basically to have like 3 Wago blocks here. One for 5 volt, one for 24 volt, and one for ground. And I think that's also the intention of having those there. Do you think that's the best idea, Kat? 24-volt 5-volt pi. Yes, exactly. For the pi, let's just make a small cable here that clips on the GPIO. Well, that means we need some wire. What do I have to offer? I have to offer. What is that? This is 24. That's maybe a bit too less, a little. This one is 20. 20 I would take. Yeah, let's use 20. 20 is, I think, a good enough. And do I have 18? Let's say how much to this. 24. Off looks 24. Ah, here I have. Yeah, let's use this one for the main one. And this one for the rest. Okay, also here, like I don't have the cable shoes ready. So basically I will put them now in the power supply without the cable shoe, and I'll add it later. So okay. Then the question is, how do we route that? I think just here on the bottom is easiest. Let's make this one the ground one. I'll just snap both the same length. And let me just push that through here. This will be 24. And this will be maybe a tad long, but yeah, we can shorten always. Then I will use the same cable to connect the mainboard. Let's do that right away. Too conservative here. So let's put that here. He's very interested in everything that's like cable or like everything that has a loose end. I think that's a good summary. Everything that has a loose end, he's very interested. Let me see. So I think it's best to also route them via here. And then it's the top one here. There's mine. Hey, you don't eat it. These I can actually crimp. You know what? These I can crimp. I have the crimps for that. Let's do that. That just fits over this silicone. I'm gonna try one size up. It's one. And the black ones are one up. No, let's use the black ones. And then usually what I do with these is like I only have them, I shorten them a bit that they fit properly in the housing. So I just take the tip off. Okay, here we need to pay attention to polarity, of course. Oh, please tell me that fits in here. Yes. You just have to maneuver it in. Why do you not want to run there? Let me see. Awesome. This messages as always. Less space wire than on the 2.4. Yes, definitely less space. Something came to mind. You can try to use RPI GPIO to control the LEDs on the V0. Side LEDs worked before. Yes and no. The problem is you cannot use Wait, let me quickly remove the bed here. I can fill this in. The problem is Clipper doesn't support having addressable LEDs like the smart LEDs from the Raspberry Pi host. That's not supported in Clipper for some reason. Um, so yes, you can do that. Let me also like shorten these a tiny bit. But then you can only use normal LEDs, and these also work fine. These also work fine on the mainboard. The other thing is we switched the mainboard now, right? So it's a completely different setup. Or do you, because like when we had this mainboard in the V0, the LEDs didn't work. Do you refer to this, or did we didn't have enough LED control options, right? You refer to that most likely. Cool. So always one cable here that like feels like it doesn't belong. Why are you not going in there? It's a bit tricky if you don't have like a lot of space here to put them in. Quick tuck test, looks good. And we have success. Okay, so that's power for the mainboard. Then the other thing is power for the Pi. So what I would do here now, can you not just move the whole rail? Can I not just move the whole rail? Yes, I can. Yes, Steve, you're right. I'm not considering the easiest solution. Thank you, Steve, for this very, very obvious hint. Even more obvious would be to just remove the pipe. And now we should just move this whole thing over here. I took the position of the rail kind of as a god given. And of course we can move it. We cannot access that SD card now. Okay. The other thing is like, I think we quickly have to remove this power supply that we can access the cables here. Okay, so kind of like undigging this 5-volt power supply here. Let's use the shorter cables. What I usually do with this stuff. Um, because we're dealing with two different voltages here, so we have 24 and 5 volts. Usually, what I like to do, let's use the same thick wire to connect the Vagos down here. Just like I usually use yellow for 5 volt. That's just like my personal color coding scheme. Um, that's just how I do that. Just like that, I don't accidentally mix 5 and 24-volt stuff. And it's not like any standard or something. That's just like oops. Maybe we put the it's not getting better here. It's 1. Okay. Make sure they go under here. Put the cover back. And oh no, now I have them in the wrong direction. See if that still works. No, it's a bit too short now. Okay. These need to come in from the opposite direction. So that needs to come in from here. Here we go. Okay. Perfect. I think order of operations here is not ideal. Okay. Then we need to put these back in. Okay. Then the ground one actually just goes to ground here as well. This one I can do quite short. So we connect the two grounds together. So that's fine. I think definitely we can shorten. You know, let's do the following for these that are not like randomly flying around. Let's just tie them together. So nicer. Uh, and then this one goes to the last terminal block, which gives us the 5 volt. But what I will do here is I will already pick up my yellow color scheme a bit. So I take a bit of heat shrink and put it here on the end. So again, this is just like my personal way of doing things. So yellow is, I mean, you can also shorten it quite a bit, but yeah, that's fine. Yellow is 5 volt. Um, which we also will pick up now. So we make a yellow cable here to the Raspberry. Oh. And that basically just goes over here. So let me just move off a tiny bit. And there we have 24. I have to put this on the roll, I guess. Where's the beginning here of the cable? Yeah. Okay, so for these, what I want to do so I want to just have like a whole row here, but I think this one. So I just have like one whole block of the GPIO. I like to do it this way to have this, basically because then I can plug everything in and out in one go. So in case I want to swap the pi or something, I don't have to fiddle around with the GPIO pins. So we need to quickly figure out on GPIO which is which. So and we need to solder that actually. Prepare that. Okay, let's quickly check the Raspberry Pi pin out. I like this picture because it has the board next to it. Where's my picture? Yeah, I did not realize how big of a page this is. There we go. So it's basically, if I plug this in, the first one is 5 volts, second one is 5 volts, and then comes the ground. So basically it's the last 3. Um, Cat stole my chair. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of solder here. As always with these thingies, you need to be really quick because like the plastic has the tendency to melt. So the third pin here is ground. And the last pin is 5 volt. Okay. So look like good solder. Looks okay. I do have tiny bit of heat shrink here. So I'll just put a bit of heat shrink over the solder connection. And now we have a custom-made GPIO header. And it's very easy to place it because it has the same like width basically as the normal Raspberry Pi GPIO. So it's very difficult for stupid people like me to make a mistake here and place it incorrectly. And if you want to know why I do that this way, I kill more than one Pi. In here, but like cool down a little bit before we put it back. Perfect. We now have one spot free here in our Wago for the ground. So there's one more here. And this will be used for the canvas. We can actually also just run this wire as well, to be honest, while we are at it. Let me... This one gets a bit more twist here, like more twist. Okay. Then I would suggest we're kind of running out of bad cable here. Let me see if I can move that tiny bit more down. That I'm not gonna place it now, but the U2C basically would be here. Which actually is like a very nice layout with all the boards next to each other. Realistically, most likely we have to place it this way, that we have to use B cables here. I really like this. It's all one line. Then you know what? Maybe I just yeah, you know what? I think I mounted it this way before. Um, I just have like VHP tape here, the 2 mm thick one. And this is good enough. This will perfectly hold. Okay, then wait, this one was, you need to like sort that. This one was 20. So this is 20 AWG, and I would use that to run to the toolhead. The toolhead cable comes in on this side here. So I think through this little gap here. Um, let me see. Let me think. Let me think. Let me find some canvas cable first. Let's do that. I think I saw somewhere in these. Some leftover canvas cable. Oh, there's the USB cable. This is too long, so I'm not going to use that, but just for checking, like this is not good enough for from the position. So this is fine. Oh, I have a whole bank of USB cables here. Ha, never mind me. Do we have short ones here? That's the question. This one is nice and short. This one is longer. And this one is nice and short. These are the same length. So let's just use these two. And then we just make a loopy loop. Oh no, this is micro USB. This is USB-B. Never mind me. Okay, I'll need to look in my cable stash because I kind of don't want to have like super long USB cables here. I think I only have USB-B and micro USB cables here because I don't use them usually. I will find the perfect cable for us here. But back to my main quest. Where did I see that? I have a camera cable. I saw it, I think. Oh God, it's not in here. It's not in here. Oh, here it is. Go away. I knew I had one. Okay, so this has a SB229 connector, but we will not use it, of course. So this will go in here and go through here. It's long enough, that's good. So now the question becomes, so there's a couple of ways we can do that. I think the easiest would be to remove the same what we did in 2.4. So I just open up the isolation and already damaged the cable. Perfect. So let's try that again a couple of times. So basically my goal is to remove the isolation here without damaging the cable inside. Which is easier said than done actually sometimes. And we do that basically in distance that we can connect these here. So we kind of have to do it quite a stretch. I have to do it a couple of times. It's a lot easier to do it in the small sections than in one go. Also use. I think with a knife it's easier here. And when you bend them like this, so you basically just you damage the isolation, so to say, and then you just bend the cable like this, then the isolation will break. And then you can just pull it off. So with a knife, it's always easy to bend it, and then you can just very softly cut in. And because the isolation's on a lot of tension, it very easily cuts. See if I can pull one cable out, then it's easier to pull the rest through. Okay, so we kind of untwisted the canvas cable here a bit, so we need to retwist it a bit, but it's not super critical. I think that's long enough. Critical one? Yeah, we need a little bit more. Okay. Then let's just push these through here, through our little like cable organization helper clips thing here. That goes in the last open ground. And this one we can shorten a bit. Okay. Now we need to kind of retwist our canvas cable a bit. Not super critical the twist because like the untwisted section is relatively short. The only thing I would try to avoid here, because we have the stepper cable running here, I would not run that directly next to the stepper cable, because that can, you know what? Let's just put the stepper cable to the top here. So if you run it directly next to each other with the stepper cable can interfere with the canvas signal. And that's where the twist then also comes in. It's very important. So let's just not twist it and like guide it around a little bit. Interesting part would jetzt now be again. Somebody reminds me, as always, which one is can high, which one is can low. Oh, I missed a lot of messages again. You definitely have room for bigger pieces. Yeah, like there's tons of space. Like, I don't think a 350 would fit, but a 200 easy. Mold XC30 plugs are nice. That's why I moved from BTT with yeah. The B yeah, that's the plug on the EVV36 is an absolute pain. And I hate every time I have to do this. I absolutely hate it. High is yellow. Then the next question is now, which one is high? You can it's not quite what I want. Also not what I want. Ugh, I have to peel it off. High is in the center. Yellow is, yeah, 50 you can board. Yeah, exactly. I know it's written on the back, but I didn't want to peel it off. Can high is yellow. So yellow goes in the center. Oh shit, but now which side is the... Ah, fuck it. Low is on this side, okay. Sorry, VHP. Now if we had like one more clip, we can clip it here. Cool. That is a lot of wires. Actually, looking at this, I kind of want to have the rail tiny bit over here. I'm sure if I can now easily do that. Yes. 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 Remove the... That's why I want to have it a little bit more up, that we can remove the pie a little bit nicer. This is not a bit stuck in here. Let's see if I can... Okay. Just like this. Like this. The pie has a bit of breathing room towards the 5-volt power. Because if we now need to replace the SD card of the Pi, it's easier to unclip that. Perfect. And this needs to go back in. Then I guess we accidentally started the CAN wiring. I just throw my... Let's see if I can make a compromise with my gun. I want to take the second chair. He's like observing very closely what I do. He's like always, he always wants to be like part of what I do. It's a little bit less extreme than when he was like super young, but still like very important to always be around. Okay, then CAN. So this needs there. Let me first do the following. I kind of wanted to keep this intact, but like now we use the cable, so whatever. We just make sure we are not cutting this too short. So we're going for the furthest position, and then here I kind of want to have like a nice arc, and then I'll just leave quite some extra. We need a PG7 connector. I do have them here. somewhere. Alright, now can't be the excessives. Nice. Where are my PG7s? Here they are. Oh wait, it's PG9. If I recall correctly. I think that's yeah, that's a 9. And this is a 7. This is half a PG9. This is a PG7. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Here's the other half. Okay. Let's see if that works. I hope that works. That is not quite thread in how I wanted to thread in. Oh, that would be a shame. Nope. I feel like it's ripping more than when I started, but it's still not good. Okay. I think what I'll do, I will reprint this part. Because if I now continue with the plug, I cannot put it through here. I mean, technically you can make a cut, but I think it's... Is it not like magically? No. Okay, then I will reprint this part, and then we stick to the plan on doing the canvas wiring next time. So basically how this would now continue. We do a PG7 here, or PG9 here. So this is here. And this goes over here and has a PG7 on this end. And now I'm already seeing, like, I hope I did not cut this too short. I think it's fine. Because the PG7 on the other side. Let me grab one of the PG7s. I did not think that through. PG9. So on the other side, basically here we will have a PG7. Let's just stay for goodwill bit. Let's see here, this this is how it's supposed to be. Okay. So this goes through here. I'll just pull it like a little bit through on purpose. I'll simulate the worst case. And the nice thing is now the cable is like clamped, so this is like completely like. Okay, but this is the worst case, and the worst case still works well. So cable length is okay. Redo parts, so both are PG7. Yeah, I could also do that, to be honest. I'm not sure why this is PG9. I have to redo this part either way, so I think it's fine if I do it in PG7. Then we have like looks a bit nicer maybe if both are PG7. And then also this is a little bit less tall, so you get a little bit more flex here. But like I pulled the cable now through quite a bit. I think in reality it will be more like this. So this is like a good length. Interesting part is the bone tube comes from over here, so this will be like from two different corners. I mean, I really like the machine, to be honest. Like I like the design. It's has a little bit like the rough edges. But I like how it looks. So I'm still excited to do that. Then I think that's like all I wanted to do today. We have a completely wired up machine, except for the USB. We can quickly plug in the two USB cables next time. Like there are not a lot of like cables on this mainboard. I feel like we're forgetting something. Well, there are no end stops. The bad thermistor's in there. The steppers are connected. The bad is connected. It has power. There will be fans. But that will then later be there. And basically these panels here have fans. Let's see. Oh, this one is one I wanted to glue. There was a defect. Be careful with this one. I'm not gonna force that now. Worst case, I have to reprint that. Oh yeah, and this one still has supports. Okay, I'm not gonna force them now on, but this is how it would be. Like it's has quite a lot of space inside. It's quite spacious to wire up, like a lot more than the V0 for sure. So yeah, I mean it's getting somewhere. Let me actually leave them on that like the electronics are a bit protected. Cool. Okay. Then I would say that's it for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and see you next time with canvas crimping and configuration, right? Like then we can kind of like slowly start to fire this bad boy up. Cool. Until then, see you next week. Bye.